So what are the data types are available, or what is the use of the data type? Data type actually tells the compiler that what kind of value it is storing, or what kind of value it has. So this data type tells the type of the value, or what values, what kind of values it is storing. How the item is stored in computer memory, like for example, if it is a character value, or if it is a floating point value, or if it is a decimal point, integer value, or number value, or alphanumeric value, then how you can represent that variable, that value of that variable into memory. Next one is the what operation can be performed. Data types also tells you that what kind of operation you can perform. If it is a number value, then you can perform numeric operation. If it is a string value, then you can perform string operation, like for example concatenation instead of addition. Say for example, if it is a numeric value, they say it is 4 and 5. If you want to add them, then 4 plus 5 you have to write it. So the 4 plus 5, that means 9. But if it is a string type value, then if you write 4 plus 5, that means if it is a string type, then it is not 9, it is 4 5, that is 45. So what kind of operation you want to perform, or how that operation can be performed, that can be identified by this data type. So in general, these data types are of two types: number and numeric and non-numeric. Numeric are the number, and non-numeric are the string. Numeric, the number can be like based on the different size of the variable values. So that can be like smaller numerics data types, larger numeric data types, fractional numeric data types, whole numeric data types. Okay. Non-numeric type is like a single character or multiple character. If it is a single character, then it is character. If it is a multiple character, then together it's called a string. Some programming languages are very strict about assigning this type. So special feature of some programming languages prevent assigning values to an incorrect data type. So because of their strictness, you cannot assign like string type values to a numeric variables. That will give you an error. The opposite, like if you want to store a number values into a string type variable, that will give different meaning. So it always not will give you an error. Sometimes it will give a wrong result. Like if you want to store a floating point value means 4.5 into an integer value. That means where you can store only integer like 4. So if you want to store floating point variable 4.5 into a variable 4, then it is called it will have a information loss. The new value variable contains only 4. It's not 4.5. Say for example, if I am declaring a variable int is equal to 4, and another variable int a is equal to 4.5. So in this case, in this previous case, the value is correct. But if you want to print the value of this a, it will again give you the value a is equal to 4, because a is integer type variable. But if you want to write float, okay, and then if you want to assign say float b, okay, equal to 4.5, and then if you want to write a equal to b, then the value of a again will be 4, because this floating point value cannot be stored here. And now if you do the same thing in the opposite way, like for example, here you want to store like b is equal to 4, then what will happen? The value of b, new value of b will be 4.0. It's not 4 only, it's 4.0. And this 4.5, 0.5 will be overwritten. Now, so there are these data types are of primitive types, like which is actually the basic data types are called the primitive data types, like character, integer, short, float, double, and they have their specific range. Like a signed character have a specific range from minus 128 to plus 127. A normal integer will have a range like this. But if it is short integer, then we will have a range from 32,768 to 32,767 from minus to plus. Okay, in this range you can only have you can only store the value within this range. If it is not within this range, then there will be a problem. It is possible, but there will be a problem in the execution. So now from these primitive data types, some data types can be created, and like as I said earlier, like data types or a variable can consist of multiple values, and that value sometimes of the same type, and those values sometimes are of different types. Data types can be created, and those data types are called derived data types, like an array or structure. And this actually also depends on the different programming languages. This kind of operation actually performed in different ways. Next is the character set. As I said, that for string, like the integer derived data types and the primitive data types, in case of character variable, we have character values. To store them in a computer, you have character data types to store the character variable. Like character variable means a single alphanumeric data, single alphabets. Either it is number or it is a character. Alphanumeric symbols are like letter, number, and special symbol that can be given as an input via keyboard, can be considered as a character, and that can be stored in a character variable. For a multiple character together is called a string, and a character can be identified by this single inverted comma. Okay, this single inverted comma will be used to identify a character, and for double inverted comma is used to identify as a string. Okay, so remember, whenever you write a program to identify a single character or a character type variable values, you need to use this single inverted comma. If you want to identify a string type value, then you have to use this double inverted comma for that particular value.